Hi guys, it's Gavin Edley from gavinedley.com. I'm just doing a quick review of Ninja Outreach, which is a software to help you with your content prospecting, social prospecting, and your outreach to get backlinks to help with your SEO. Just recently I've been going through a process of setting up a niche website, and that obviously involves looking at different SEO techniques and what works and what doesn't, in order to get on the first page of Google for my chosen keyword term. So I was recommended Ninja Outreach from Tom Watts of blogtrafficbuilder.com, and he sent me a message on Twitter yesterday to recommend that this software might be a good way to find prospects, to find potential backlink prospects, to outreach to them, to send the emails, and also to manage the actual follow-up process and to keep a record of where you're at with each prospect. So it's something that I mentioned in my recent blog post, and that's why Tom mentioned it. And I've just recently been putting prospects in a spreadsheet, and then marking them or highlighting them as green if they agree to a link, so I don't have to contact them again or follow up. But he recommended this as a way to centralize everything, so even when you're using a contact form on a website, it will mark as though you've contacted that person, whereas if you're using Gmail independently and you're using contact forms as well, it's hard to keep track of who you've contacted and who you haven't. So this software kind of brings it all together, and helps with that side of things. So earlier today I downloaded, I signed up for it. It's not download, it's just based in your browser. So I signed up for Ninja Outreach and got my 14-day free trial on I think it's a blogger's account at the moment. So I've been having a little bit of a play around with it. You can see I've sent 55 outreach emails and I've got 602 prospects on my list. So I'm not that far into it, but I've got a good idea of how it works. And a few of the downsides to it, as well as the positive things to this software. So to get started, you start off with if you want to do content prospecting, so look for websites that are in your field. So it gives you an indication of what would be a good search and what would be a bad search down here. So for instance, parenting blogs, finance bloggers. You got to look for influencers ultimately in your niche. So you don't want to find you don't want to put your exact keyword in there. You've got to think about the influencers in your market, and not just your actual market. So for instance, my niche is pizza ovens. If you've been following it, you know that. So we've got pizzaovenhub.com, and we've developed a website there, put content on it, and now we're doing a bit of backlinking. So a good example for me would be gardening blogs. So people who are landscaping the garden, and want to fit an outdoor wood-fired pizza oven in there. So here we are, we've got the results. It's found 60 prospects altogether in the gardening blogs search term. I think that's because I've done a search on it beforehand, and I did get about 225 and added that to my list. So they do normally return quite a few more results than that. So you can go through each one and kind of vet them on an individual basis. If they don't really suit what you're looking for, then you obviously don't need to add them to your prospect list. But if you think they're suitable, just click on the little blue button there and it'll add it to either a selected list, so you can select a list that you've already created. I've created two. I've got one for what I've called Pizza Oven Hub, which is a list of pizza related websites and pizza oven related websites, and I've got my gardening list, which is the gardening blog search that I did. So you can see there I've got 225 from an earlier search that I popped in there. So you can individually add them to an existing list, or you can just enter the title of a new list in here and click on save, and it'll add it to a brand new list so you can keep it all separated. So, but what I've been doing after a little while, kind of realised that most of them are pretty relevant and they're worth contacting on outreach. So I just clicked on the Save All button up here and then clicked on all 60 prospects in this case, and then we've got a drop down list, and we've selected the gardening list. I want to drop them in there. Click on Save, and it'll add those prospects to the gardening list. So I should have 285 now in that list. I'll just work along these header this header menu so that you can see what each aspect involves. Brief overview, and again, this is not an in-depth review of the software. It's just a quick overview. It's what I've seen up to now and what I've learned from using it for the past few hours. So social prospecting, from what I gather, is searching for people on Twitter or Instagram, again, that are influencers in your particular niche. So you can see there, if I search gardening blogs, it should draw back a load of Twitter profiles and Instagram profiles around gardening and blogging. So there you go. We've got quite a few there. 250 results. I don't know whether that's been capped or whether that's all of the results that it's found. But again, you can save all, or you can add each one individually to the list by clicking on this, or you can remove them from the results. I've not been doing much social prospecting because the ones that I added to my list, very few had an email address in there, which obviously you need to contact them. So I didn't find the social prospecting tool as useful as the content prospecting. So I kind of skipped that, but you can use it if you find some use for it. List management. So this is where all of your prospects live once you've saved them. And you can see here you've got you've got stats on your actual list, and it tells you how many you've sent to, what your list size is, and you can do various things to export them as a CSV, etc. So this is just more like an overview page. So I'll go into your prospects. So this is where you can manage your prospects, and you can update the status of them as well. So for instance, if somebody's come back to you and agreed that they want to put a link on their website, or have you as a guest poster, or whatever your outreach is, you can add them. You can add that relationship to that particular prospect. So you've got a list of options here. So yeah, if they agree to do a guest post with you, then you can select that and add it. So you know where you're at with each particular prospect. I don't think I can remove that now, but anyway. So that's your prospects. It's just where you can delete them as well. You can follow them on Twitter, or you can contact them individually from this page, but I just use the outreach mode for that. Manage templates, useful. This is where you have a default list of existing templates that Ninja Outreach provides you with, and then you can go in and edit each one accordingly for your particular purposes. So I've just been using one. I've only been doing outreach for link requests. Normally, when I do manual outreach, you'll see in my blog posts I've been talking about broken link building, which generates a good deal of well, it's a better converting strategy than just basically begging for a link. You're giving them some value and saying, you know, I've found a broken link on your website, it needs fixing, and whilst you're doing that, do you want to drop in my post? It's quite useful, and your readership might find it interesting. So it's definitely the way to go, broken link building, but just for the purposes of using this software, I just went with simple link begging outreach, basically. So I think one of the downsides actually of Ninja Outreach is the fact that it has no broken link finding function inside the software itself. So if you're familiar with that process, I'll just quickly give you an example. Search for gardening links. It should come back with, yeah, we've got one here where it's obviously a page with relevant gardening links on. So we go to that page, and you can see you've got a list of various links. Now, I don't think there's many on here, so we're probably not going to find a broken link, but this is what you do to find one. There's an extension for your Chrome browser called Check My Links. So if you install that, you'll get a little icon in the top corner of your browser. If you click on it when you're on a website that you want to check the links for, and it only checks the page that you're on, it doesn't check the entire website. So make sure you're on the page that you want to check before you hit that button, and just give it a couple of minutes, and it'll soon have a report of valid links, warnings and invalid links. So I'm going to cut this report short because it's taking quite a while. There's quite a few links, there's more than I thought actually. But it's already found 4 invalid links, so 404 pages, which means they no longer exist. So that's a perfect opportunity to contact this website and say, you've got broken links on your gardening links website, on your gardening links page, and I've got a good resource that's that your readers will find helpful. So do you want to drop my link in there instead? So that's the typical approach, but with Ninja Outreach, the whole point of it is to obviously speed up the process of your outreach process and your prospecting, and it kind of negates the point for me because I'd have to go onto each individual prospect's website, and although I have my list and I'll be able to click on the websites from the actual list, it doesn't make it that much quicker, and I've still got to do the individual link results report to find the broken links, and then I've got to copy that broken link and drop it into the not the template, because that would pop up for every email that you send, but drop it into the sort of custom email that I'm about to show you that you send to each prospect individually. So that would take a lot of time, and although I understand it provides better conversion, the whole point of Ninja Outreach, to me, to justify the cost of using it, then it needs to be a lot faster and a lot more on a sort of mass scale, and I can go just as quickly doing things manually if I'm going to use the broken link building approach. So for me, it's useful, but only as far as link begging, and not in terms of broken link building. So Ninja Outreach, if you're listening to this, then a great feature would be if you could, once you've developed your prospect list, if you could have an inbuilt function that tells you or indicates whether there's any broken links on those websites and provides the link, and it could even automatically drop it into the template perhaps, the links that you found, the broken links for that particular website, that particular prospect, it can fill out the template for you with those broken links, and that would be awesome. That would save a ton of time, but unfortunately I can't find a function that does that at the moment. So anyway, I've been using the basic link request. So as you can see, I've amended the title. It's called Gardening Link Request now. So to go into it, just click on the edit button, and you can choose, you can amend the template name, you can change the subject of the email that you're sending, and as you can see, I've customized it a little bit so that it fits with what I'm offering, what I'm trying to pitch for a link for. And I've given them a little bit of something back there. So I've said, by the way, whether you add it or not, I'd be happy to give you a featured blog post on our site promoting your products and services, and a featured recipe on our recipe section so that you can put your name to it. So it's giving them a little bit of value there, and not just saying, can I have a link please? So that's my template, and once you've built that, you can then go to outreach mode, which will allow you to send the emails to your prospects. So you drop on outreach mode and it gives you a message, upgrade and auto send your emails up to 500 per day, which would be great, but at the moment I want to make sure that each email that I send is relevant to the prospect, and I'm not just seen as a spammer. So select a list, gardening, and this comes up with all the prospects that we've got in our list from our earlier search. Now I like to filter it so that we've only got prospects with emails, because they do have a great function that allows you to fill out, auto fills the contact form for that particular prospect. So it'll take you to the website and fill out the contact form, all ready for you to just hit on send. But again, I want it to be as quick as possible, so I only want to deal with prospects that have got email addresses that we can send to from the software. So I click on only prospects with emails, and that filters it out. Another filter that I've just introduced there on a quick outtake was select not contacted prospects. So that makes sure that as you're working down your list, you're not going through ones that you've already sent an email out to, and you're not annoying people. So click on the individual, the website that you want to outreach to, and then you select your template, which you've previously made, gardening link request, and that fills out your subject and also your email body. So in there it's got a link to the website, makes it look a little bit more genuine, less spammy, and it's got your template that you've made. So just have a quick scan down it to make sure that it's relevant to your prospect in this case. So once you're happy with it, hit send. And beforehand I did link up my email account. I used a Gmail account, and that allows you to do your outreach without linking to an email account. Obviously you can't do your outreach, they won't host your emails for you, so you need to do it through an existing account. So that's just sent that one, and it takes you to the next one automatically, keeps the template in there, which is really helpful, so you don't have to keep doing that on every prospect. And then hit send again, just again make sure that it's all relevant to that particular prospect. And that's how you do it. You just work down your list and keep working through it, and keep sending out your outreach. Now this is one thing that you probably will come across whilst you're doing your outreach if you're using Ninja Outreach. Email verification. Our email validator has indicated that this email address does not likely exist. Do you want to send the email anyway, or choose another email from the prospect if available? So at first I just ignored this, click on send, and sent it anyway, but I ended up getting a load of bounce backs on my email account. So each time that it does this and it indicates that it probably doesn't exist, it pretty much is always right. So I started to just close the message and to skip on to the next prospect. It's a bit frustrating, because you missed that opportunity to contact them. If you really wanted to pursue that prospect, you could go on, send through contact form, or you could just click on the website and try and find a way to contact them manually. But again, I don't want to do that because the whole point of this software is to speed things up. So I just skip on to the next one, and there's plenty more prospects in the list anyway. Again, it's done it there. Skip to the next one. It might just be that my particular niche is quite unreliable for email addresses, I don't know, but yeah, that one's successfully sent. And just work down your list like that. So if you want to automate it fully, I think there is an upgrade available for a big, more expensive package that'll allow you to automate the outreach and automate your follow-ups as well. Actually, I've seen the package above the blogging package allows you to do follow-up, automated follow-up at particular intervals. So it might be worth looking at that if you want to save even more time. But I just thought I'd have a look at the basic functions of it initially to see whether it's useful, and it is really. It's good for managing your list, your prospects, understanding who you've contacted, and managing your follow-up process. You also get a cool little extension for Chrome for Ninja Outreach, where if you're on a website that you want to add to your prospect list, you can just literally click on that, the drop down appears, and you just enter a bit of information, and that's then added to your list. There are some really great features, and it does help with the process. Like I say, I won't be using it for broken link building at the moment because it's too slow, too laborious. It's what I was doing on a manual basis before, and I don't see the point in paying for a software and taking just as much time to outreach. So it is great for sort of a mass approach, a link begging approach, which is perhaps less effective in terms of conversion. But if you're hitting 100, 200, 300, 400 prospects every single day because of the speed that it gives you, then you're probably going to get a better response anyway than contacting 10 or 20 broken link prospects each day. So it's a bit of a numbers game, and it does allow you to quickly contact a lot of prospects. So that's what it is good for. So that's it. That's my review of Ninja Outreach. Have a look at it, get your free trial, have a play around with it, see if it's useful for you. All niches are different, so obviously you might have a different experience than I have, but that's what the free trial's there for, so you can have a look before you commit. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and check out gavinedley.com for progress on my niche site.